about Superstar Billy Graham?
Soup was cool. Vern Gagne in Minnesota broke Wayne Coleman, his name, but anyway, broke Wayne in. And Vern called my dad. And he said, "Hey, Eddie," he said, "we've got a guy out here, and big guy, looks good, can talk, he's tough, he's this, he's that." And he said, "He wants to be your brother. He wants to be a Graham. Is it okay with you? We would like to call him Billy Graham." So Dad said, "I appreciate you calling me and everything." And Vern, because my dad and Vern were very good friends, had been up and down the road together, he said, if you think he's, worthy and everything, then that's cool with me, if you want to use him at all. And so hence came Superstar Billy Graham. And but there's another guy. I mean, probably 9 of the top 10 money makers of the wrestling business were talkers.
Right.
Talkers. They didn't have amateur wrestling background. They didn't, they could talk. They could emotionally get inside your heart and soul and get you off your couch or out of your house or off your job or whatever and get you to pay your $7 or $8 to go to the live events. That's the way we made money back in the day, the live events. We didn't have TV. We weren't making any money from TV. TV was just a vehicle to advertise the live events 7 nights a week. And Superstar could talk. Oh, the interviews he used to do and the facial expression and just, he was another one of those special, and not too many bodybuilders ever were successful in wrestling, but Jesse Ventura came along after Billy and did a good job, but nobody was ever a bodybuilder and a talker like Superstar was. He was definitely the one and only.
How about teaming with Steve Keirn?
Steve and I, again, he went to Monroe Junior High, went to Madison Junior High. We knew of each other. Then once we got to high school, we were immediately friends. His father, Lieutenant Colonel Richard Paul Keirn, was a first officer in Vietnam, shot down with a surface-to-air missile. He was a Phantom fighter pilot and all that kind of stuff. And so my dad was kind of his surrogate dad while his father was in the prisoner of war camp. So he was over to the house a lot, and we spent a lot of time together. And when he got out of high school, he went to med school in Mississippi, someplace. He made it about a year. He called me. He said, "Before I left," he said, "you said that, your dad said that he would take me down and introduce me to Hero and train me and everything to be a wrestler." He said, "I'm out of med school." He said, "I've had enough. I want to come home and I want to be a wrestler." So he came home and Dad introduced him to Hero, and he trained with Hero. For everybody that worked out with Hero probably trained with him about a year.
Mm-hmm.
About a year before they actually got to get out and get in the ring and do anything. About a year-long process, 2 or 3 days a week. And that's how Steve got started. But it was fun knowing him and watching him grow up. And he was at my wedding, I was at his wedding, just sharing, going through life like me and Kevin Sullivan. And he and I just kind of going through life at the same pace and doing the same things at the same time, the same age and all that kind of jazz. He's still one of my very good friends.
You got any good road stories from that period, that time period right there?
Just crazy things that we all did when we were kids. I was coming back from a town one night and me, Kevin Sullivan, Paul Jones, and Dennis Stamp. And we passed Dusty. And we sat on Highway 60. He had a lady in the car with him. So we went up in front of us 2 o'clock in the morning. So we all get naked. We're standing 2 o'clock in the morning on the side of the road hitchhiking, drinking beer. And so Dusty comes by and he slams on the brakes and slides over the road and he jumps out with a 44, big Western 44. Boom, boom. He's shooting at us. He's shooting up there. Well, the other guys, they're running and diving and trying to hide. And I'm standing holding my beer bottle going, "Come on, Dream, you can shoot it. You can shoot it." And boom, boom, guns going off. They're screaming, "Get out, Mike, get out. He's going to shoot you." Just silliness, stuff like that, No, never hurt anybody, never did anything. Then same thing, Highway 60. Joe LeDuc and the heck was the guy? Louis Tillette. We stop at Yeehaw Junction. We're a little bit ahead of them. We're just finishing getting gas, and they're coming up behind us. They pull in as we're and Dusty had some big battles with Joe LeDuc and all that kind of stuff. So we thought it'd be funny to play a little joke on him. We were drinking Yago Sangria. So we had an empty bottle in the back of the car. So I filled it up with gas. We went down the street about a mile. I'm telling you, you're out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing on Highway 60. I mean, it's no houses, no business, no cross streets, no anything. You got about 22 miles of road that's just a road out through farm country, pastures and cows on each side and all that kind of stuff. So we pull up on the side of the road and we're waiting and we're waiting. So we see the headlights come out of the gas station and here they come. So they get just about up to us. I run across the street, pour the gasoline. Whoosh, Dusty hits it with a match. A flame about this high comes up. They hit the brakes. They slide through the fire. Pull over. Dusty and I like two little kids. We run back. We get in the car. Everybody's laughing. LeDuc runs over, and he reaches through the window. Eyeballs. I don't know if you ever saw Joe LeDuc,
Yes.
but he was a big, intense-looking guy anyway. And he's choking Dusty through the window. You almost killed us. Are you crazy? Whatever. Dusty reaches down, grabs the sangria bottle. Bam! Hits him right across the forehead with it. Knocks him back out of the window. Starts to drive off. Dusty had like a 72 or 73 Eldorado convertible. And he had painted red and blue stars down the side of it, the American Dream. He made it his dream machine. So as we start to drive off, LeDuc jumps on the hood of the car. And he's he's on his all fours and he's looking through the window at Dusty. Dusty goes, you want to go for a ride? Dusty now takes off, going 80 miles an hour down Highway 60 with LeDuc on his hood. And I'm saying, Dusty, this isn't good. This isn't good. Don't hit the brakes. Don't turn. Don't hit the brakes. Just let off the gas and just coast on down and pull over on the side of the road. If you hit the brakes, he's going to go right off. There ain't nothing. There's nothing for him to hold on to. I mean, so Dusty's slowed down. LeDuc rolled off the hood of the car, got down on the ground on all fours, and was crying, kissing the ground. He was so scared going down the road. But I mean, that was just stuff like that, night after night after night after night after night. We were always doing silly things, trying to keep everybody entertained. But there was some that, that are family friendly.
Yes. Teaming with Ray Stevens.
God, I wish I would have been older to be able to see Ray in his heyday with Ray and Pat Patterson. Ray and my dad were partners back in the early 60s. He was just an incredible guy. He had, same thing, he came from that school that my dad did, and in the ring, I wrestled plenty of times against Ray Stevens and Nick Bockwinkel. I wrestled against Ray Stevens and Pat Patterson. I mean, it was Ray Stevens and Ray Stevens. He was the guy. He was the team leader, you might say, and kept everything together. But he was incredible. I loved working with Ray Stevens.
When did you start to feel confident as a worker?
I started in 72 and probably about 5 years, probably about 1977, 78. So after about 5 years of working 7 nights a week.
Okay, not bad.
With the best, the one good thing is I had the opportunity to work with the best wrestlers there were. I mean, I'm talking about from Lou Thez to Pat O'Connor, Gene Kaninsky, Ray Stevens, Nick Bockwinkel, you name it, I had an opportunity to be in the ring with them. And when you're in the ring with the best a couple nights a week, if you can't learn, then I needed to quit the wrestling industry and go get a job at the 7-Eleven or something.
Right.
Because, and then on the other hand, a lot of guys never get an opportunity to work with people of that quality. So you're never really going to get much better than the quality of the guy you're wrestling against. If you're wrestling against somebody with no skills and no ability, then you're not really going to get any better, because you learn from someone every time you compete against them, and no matter what the situation is. So if you never get to work with someone better than you or knowledgeable or whatever, then you don't learn anything anyway. So I had an opportunity to work with the best of the best night after night after night after night.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.